Good morning, YouTube. My name is Amy's Bro. How are we doing? Today is May 25th, 2017, and I hope everybody's doing well. Today, in less than 11 hours U.S. time, it will be the birthday, the 35th birthday of one Tomoaki Maeno, the seiyuu behind the character known as Camus from Utena Prince-sama. He plays the Quartet Knight. He plays the Quartet Knight member Camus. He also plays Natsume Asahina from Brothers Conflict, Charles Gray from Black Butler, and about 5,000 other roles. We can't go through his entire list. We'd be here all day. Oh, I can't forget this one though. Arsène Lupin from Code Realize, which we'll be talking about in the future. It was announced they do have another game coming out after Future Blessings, but again, that's another video. So what are we talking about here? Well, it is May 25th, which means May 26th will be coming in Japan, which means Six Stage Eve. Pretty amazing, isn't it? Now let's think about this for about 30 seconds. Six Stage, what does this mean? Well, among other things, it means we have a lot of thinking to do. We have the big concert. What information are we going to get out of this particular two-day event is the big question. What will they tell us that either we didn't already know or that we did already know? Here's what's interesting about this entire stage, because we have to go back through the history of Udapri and the way they've done the end cards for each season. The way they ended last season on December 24th, 2016 is arguably the single most ambiguous ever. When I say it's ambiguous, the big question is, well, what do you do? What do you do and how do you interpret it? Now, the Japanese fandom is probably pretty much used to this, so they just sit there chill as ever. But the Western fandom, you know there's people like myself that have been sitting there going, what does this all mean? So, again, we're going to hit the Wayback Machine. Let's go through the first 4 seasons of Udapri, as we're going to assume that coming up next is a 5th season. But let's go back. So, if we go from season 1 to season 4 and we examine thoroughly each one of the end cards that was used at the end of the season, it makes things very interesting, doesn't it? Think about this for me. There's only been one season of the 4, and that was season 3, that was definitive in telling you, yes, there is going to be a next season, but we're not telling you when it is. Although we found out it was going to be 2016. However, I'll talk about how that may have been spoiled unintentionally by someone on Wikipedia. This was a while ago, but I'll explain it when we get to it. Season 1 and Season 2, they said, see you next time. Okay, that's expected. Well, Season 1, it kind of was, although you kind of could have looked at it as maybe just some cheesy cliffhanger. But Season 2, with the way it ended, you kind of knew what was going to happen when Season 3 happened, and then eventually Season 4. That became the Heavens Trilogy with Starish. Because, remember, Season 2 introduced Heavens, Season 3 they popped up at the end of the season, and Season 4 they were involved in it. Although I will say that the way the season was wrote, they weren't it wasn't dedicated to them, and I believe it should have been. And I've argued about that for a long ass time now. But season 1 and season 2, they said, "See you next time." Okay. Season 3, they definitively said, "See you next season." They said this also after a to be continued, which made me believe that the way the next season was going to be done, and it pretty much was a continuation of Revolutions, which we found out later that would be Legend Star. Okay, no issue. Here's where it gets fun, though. So, when I started watching New Debris, it was in 2015. Or was it 2014? I'm sorry. No, it was 2014. It was January 7th, 2014. There we go. When I bought Season 1. Now, I watched Season 2 on Crunchyroll back in the day. So, when I watched Season 1, we have to remember that around this time, Sentai had gotten the license for Seasons 1 and Season 2. Keep this in mind, by the way. And they said that, with Season 3 being announced for 2015, blah, 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 blah. Okay, fine. So I watched those 2 seasons, and I was really into them. And everybody knows who my group is of choice from those seasons. That would be Quartet Night, and eventually Return to also Heavens. But that's neither here nor there. But here's what was interesting. During the time it was either in 2014 or in 2015. It was some point in between that. Someone went on Wikipedia, and on the Wikipedia articles, where they will have, for some things, they may have the games, and then they'll have manga if that's applicable, and in some cases they'll also have anime if applicable. Well, somebody put on there that Season 3 would be in 2015. We knew that. But somebody got naughty and decided they were going to put down that 2014 would be Season 4 would be in 2016. They also wrote at the time that Season 3 would be 3,000, because nobody knew the name yet, and Season 4 would be 4,000%. Okay, they weren't, but that's what they were at the time. They turned into Revolutions and Legend Star. Okay. During Season 3, people were saying, at least in the Western fandom, that the show, they thought that this was going to be the final season. And there were people speculating, if it was. Then someone mentioned that they had heard that a visual had already been worked out for Season 4. Interesting. So a visual was already worked out for Season 4, but Season 3 hadn't ended. Oh, and during Season 3, somebody mentioned they wondered what one of the characters, I think it was Cecil, asked, or said, "I wonder what happened to Heavens." Well, we found out at the end of the season. But now, things got interesting, because whoever found out about the 2016 leak, I'm calling it a leak because nobody really knew whether or not that was true or not. Whoever put that down removed it. So 2015 was up. Okay, this was actually before the season. Okay, I'm trying to get my timeline right. And they removed the 4,000% from the sidebar. I think at the time, Season 3 still didn't have the name Revolutions yet. Now here's where it gets interesting. I said on a Udapri page, okay, pay attention. I said on a Udapri page that crap, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. Okay. I said on a Udapri page that I think this show's going at least 5 seasons. I'm dangerously close to being right because we've already gone 4. Somebody said, I hope you're right. Well, so far I'm pretty close to it, aren't I? And I said that I had seen a Wikipedia article that says season 4 was to be in 2016. Now this was interesting. On Tumblr, everybody had said, a good portion of the people had believed, that the show was still going to end. They seriously believed they were going to end the show on season 3. You could have, but then what would you be doing with that little loose end that is Heavens? Now it gets even trickier, though, to end the show. Here's why. Because of the way season 4 ended. Now, in season 3, when they ended it, they said, to be continued, and see you next season. Okay. We found out basically that season 4 was a continuation of season 3. I'm down. Alright, that's cool. Well, this is where things get a little tricky, though. A little murky. See, towards the end of season 3, or excuse me, towards the end of season 4, rather, things got tricky. What happened was, Starish wins Triple S. Everybody kind of feared that was going to happen. Okay, whatever, fine. I'm past being annoyed about the way they wrote that season. I'm just going to come right out and say it now. That's why I didn't review it. But when you look at the way they ended it, it almost seemed initially like there was a lot of finality. Stars had achieved the top of the top. There's nothing more left to do. When they ran the message, the Stars Forever message, after they said whatever they were going to say, it made it seem like the show was over. Now, yes, they did throw that little thing in there about we have a concert to do with Quartet Night and Heavens. Now, my thinking about that is, okay, 2 things. One, if you're going to mention that in the ending, shouldn't that be not just a Starish thing that's mentioned? Oh, by the way, we're doing this concert with the other 2 teams we beat, with the other 2 units we beat to Triple S. Shouldn't that be like a group thing that's announced? Like they do some type of cutaway with each groups that they all feel important. Just saying. That's why. That's of course one of the reasons why I don't review that season, because I'm pissed off with the way they did the ending, and it also left a bit of confusion. Here's why. When they did the that Starish card, I'm thinking, okay, series is over. We can all go home now. Even though, yeah, I know what the sub card said and everything before that. Okay, fine. Then they watched the live stream, they ran the commercials, and then they showed the end card. What the end card said subbed though was Uta no Prince-sama. New animation project begins now. Huh. What does that mean? Now, there's been speculation that there's going to be a movie. If you recall, many years ago, there was a thing called Shining Theater that was reported on by Anime News Network. Now, was that whole Shining Theater thing just basically about the Shining Theater series we've been getting, or is there actually going to be a Udapri movie? I don't know. Nobody knows yet. Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Somebody on April Fool's Day in the U.S., well, here in the West, posted an article that claimed there was going to be a movie which involved all three groups. Here's where it gets even more fun. Agamatsu, the man behind Element's Garden, was in a room, and apparently he posted a tweet, and somebody translated it to the point where they had said that in the tweet, he said that all three groups would still be around in some way. And even the tweets, when you looked after the season ended, when you read the translations through Google Translate, they were basically saying that the next story would continue with the idols that cheer you on, or something to that effect. But that didn't say it was going to be a new season, effectively, did it? I don't know. I have to find the tweet again. So now, here we are, and it's basically crunch time. Excuse me. There's got to be, in some way, shape, or form, and that's because also the way they ended the season. I keep saying myself season because to me I don't think this show's over yet. We had Raging say that his goal is to break the 20 million record with Heavens. There's something that's telling me that we're going to be going a couple seasons at least with Heavens at some point. Now, do I know when? No. Here's the thing we have to think about when it comes to the way this story is going. It's a really, really tricky situation. And the reason I say that is because I have spoken to people in the past whom have flat out said they would not watch a Heavens season. They've said this. I don't know what they would do if it was actually a Heavens-centered game. But something else came to my mind recently, and I keep thinking about this. Do you remember on the 27th, which was a Sunday, the 27th of June in 2015, do you remember when the site had the splash page, and the splash page had Heavens 7, had all 7 members and Raging on a newspaper article? Broccoli didn't do that just to do it. And the way they've started pushing Heavens as far as marketing goes, it makes me think they've got big plans for the boys in blue. But the question is, what? One would think that they do have a game and a season planned for them coming up soon. But to do that, you have to get them ready. And I think a transition is coming. I think they're going to do something in the very near future. Don't hold me to this. But I think what they're going to do, there's going to either be an OVA or there will be some type of movie production where the Starish Boys, they still take the center stage, but they say, we're going away for a bit, we're going to go on tour and go around the world, because if you're going to continue Starish's story in some way, the next thing you have to do is they have to go on tour. Because look at what Quartet Night did. They technically won the Triple S the first time, then they split and did the tour thing for pretty much the entire season. Right? Or for a portion of it. So don't you think that's what's going to happen with Starish? I'm willing to bet you, as God is my witness, one of the next seasons will be Quartet Night, Heavens, and Starish hits the bricks. Only because there's been a lot of things, and I won't go over them all. This video's already been 20 minutes. But there's been a lot of intricate things that have happened. And I am more than confident that one of the next seasons is going to be between those two groups. Then the question comes, what do you do with Heavens then? Do you say, we're finally going to give the Heavens fans what they want? Or do you do a make good for Quartet Night and say, okay, you gave back your win, so we're going to give you a big W that is yours to keep. And I would be okay with that, by the way. So many questions, man, and so few answers. Finally, though, we're after almost 6 months. Actually, take that back. After over 5 months, we're finally going to get the answers that we want. What is this animation project? What will become of Heavens? What will become of Quartet Night? What will become of Utapre as a whole? So many questions. And we have 2 days to get all the answers. And when we do, I will be breaking down the news and we will be dissecting together. I'll promise you this, it'll be one hell of a ride. So join me this weekend, because I'm promising you it's gonna be nuts for the next 3 days. Okay? Y'all have a good one. I will talk to you this weekend. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.